The Rifleman. Starring Chuck Connors.
Well, I do believe I missed his head, Mr. Griff.
Careless of you.
Expect you better finish off the treatment personal, Mr. Griff.
I intend to.
Please, Mr. Griff.
At the Lucky Chance Casino, when my patrons win, I pay. And when I win, my patrons pay. Why didn't you?
I was cheated.
Calling me a cheater?
Seeing the position you're in, calling names just don't make sense.
You know, I think one more treatment will cure you.
No, please.
Hold it. That's enough.
Well, now, what business is this of yours?
I don't like your idea of sport, mister. Pick him up. Draw it all the way out. Slow. Now drop it on the ground. Dig him up.
I don't know where the shovel is.
Well, use your teeth or your toenails, but dig him up. After you're finished, I'm taking you to the marshal on Las Cruces.
Some apples have more seeds than others. I think maybe nature does this so you can tell the different kinds apart if you want to. Help yourself.
Apples ain't what it's here for, Marshal.
What are you?
I've already told you this man deserves to be jailed.
Well, now, Mr. Griff here is one of our leading businessmen. Owns a Lucky Chance casino over there. So him I know about. Who I don't know about is you.
Does that matter after he and his hired gun tried to stomp a man to death?
Nothing as crude as all that, Marshal. Merely a little treatment up in Box Canyon to encourage the payment of gambling losses. Gambling, Mr. whatever your name is legal here. Collections can be enforced.
Anyway, I didn't see this treatment.
Yeah, if you don't see a thing, you don't act, huh? I shot his man in self-defense. Why don't you arrest me? Or did you have to see that, too?
Yes, sir. Besides, since I'm new here, I think it's a good policy to get along with the local businessmen.
Policy, huh? Next thing I know, you'll be telling me to give him back his gun.
Well, if you don't, he might file a complaint against you.
Not might. Will. Now, which do you prefer? Thank you. Will that be all, Marshal?
Put it down as a misunderstanding, Mr. Griff.
I will. This time.
You didn't say yet what your business is.
My name is Lucas McCain, North Fork Cattle Association. I've come here about one of our officers who's missing. He's a personal friend of mine. His name is B.J. Elliott.
Mr. Elliott? You're a little late, Mr. Kane. Elliott's dead.
When?
2 weeks ago. Found shot in the back.
Who did it?
Well, I didn't see that either.
And if you don't see a thing, you just don't do anything, huh? Even when a man is murdered.
I'm thinking about a witness if I can find one. They don't come forward so fast.
So you just sit.
Mr. Kane.
The name is McCain.
Excuse me. I wouldn't want to make a bad impression by moving on things too fast.
Yeah, I know. You're new here.
Come back anytime you want to Las Cruces.
I haven't left yet. Sheriff.
He's one impatient man.
Who'd blame him? People want action, Marshal, only you don't give them none. Now, why didn't you arrest that gambler fella? Everybody knows this place is run crooked. And on top of that, you expect a witness to come forward and that Elliott kill him. Well, this is pure foolishness, Marshal. And still no action.
But I have a witness. Kind of.
You got one? Well, who is he?
You can say this is him.
That's only a spent bullet half mashed from bouncing off a rock or something. Oh, what's that got to do with any witness?
Off Mr. Elliott's rib is where it bounced. Then into his heart.
You dug a bullet out of a dead man? Whatever for?
Silent witness, I call it. I think he's going to tell me what I want to know.
Marshal, that's clean loco.
I expect you didn't hear about a new thing called ballistics.
No. Me or nobody else neither.
You will. You will.
Oh, Cattlemen's Association of North Fork, Mr. McCain. Yeah, that's a fine town. You over here on some particular business for the association, I take it, Mr. McCain?
Well, it's just a business.
Room 4, Mr. McCain. Now, the hotel locks up at midnight for the protection of our guests, but we have a night bell in case you come in late. Now, don't hesitate to wake me.
I won't. Say, do you know where I can get a hold of a Judge Hopkins?
Well, now, the judge won't be in until tomorrow on his monthly rounds. Now, if you have some special business with the judge, there's no telling when he might arrive. He's a very independent fella, and he's busy, too. He has a good many cases waiting.
I'll wait, too.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's me, Mr. Griff. It's Molly.
Good evening.
Oh?
Well, I thought you'd want to know that Mr. McCain's staying over. He's from the Cattlemen's Association, North Fork.
Well, I know that. Mention any reason why he's staying over?
Well, he's kind of a hard man to get anything out of. He did say he was waiting for Judge Hopkins.
Well, that's his privilege, I'm sure. What you can do is go through his things when he goes out. And when the judge arrives, keep your ears open when they get together for a talk.
Well, I certainly will keep myself handy. Good day.
Well, why are you so nervous?
You heard him. McCain is staying over to see the judge.
Griff, baby. There are only two witnesses that can ever say who put that bullet in Mr. Elliott's back. And you know I'd never talk.
Thought you'd never get out of that tub. But I expect you like I am. The soap goes with the price of the bath. I use it down to the last sliver myself.
What do you want, Marshal?
You swear this is your rifle?
Yeah.
The one you killed Mr. Griff's hired gun with?
Like I said, in self-defense, yeah.
Well, that's what I figured. I found out he was facing you at the time from the direction your bullet went in him. So now I gotta know, did that one and only exact rifle fire that bullet?
I told you.
Yeah, but I gotta prove it.
Well, all 44 40s are the same. What are you going to prove?
In this world, not so many things are exactly the same. Not even the same apples. Now, since you allege that rifle is yours, you bring it. I got something very interesting I want to show you, Mr. Kane.
The name is McCain.
You're right.
First he says, take out the cell book. Next, make shells for something called laboratory equipment. Next thing you know, they'll say close down the Durham jail so everybody can go busting up all the laws they want.
Maybe not so many will break the law if they know we can prove it a month after they did. Now, this is my 45. I'm going to fire a couple of bullets into that bale of hay. Why? Because hay is one thing so soft it won't mash them hardly.
What'll that prove?
Watch. Now I'd like you to fire one bullet from your rifle, please.
Anybody with good sense, Mr. McCain, you'd use a tree for a target. But I expect some people, you might as well humor them.
Go ahead. Good. Now we'll wait until he finds the bullets.
You expect me to take that haystack apart?
Ben, it's easier than taking a tree apart. Some of the things I do you don't like so much.
Wasting bullets in a bale of hay is one of them.
Not quite a waste, I think. Do you know why gun barrels are rifled?
You know, so the bullet can spin on its flight. Otherwise, it'd tumble end over end.
And never hit its target, right?
Right.
This bullet found its target. Your friend, Mr. Elliot.
This one?
This one and only bullet.
Well, go on.
Look at it through the magnifying glass. See those scratches? They're called striations.
Striations?
Means marks. It's a new kind of science, ballistics. Not many marshals know about it yet. Not many killers either.
What does it all mean?
Well, since the barrel rifling in any one gun always makes the same marks on a soft lead bullet, it means that this bullet was fired from only one particular gun.
Well, now I always thought hay was for horses. I see him wrong. It's for playing games with.
Now, these two 45s were fired from my 6-gun. Look at the scratches. See for yourself. They're the same.
They're identical.
This is your 44-40. And here's your other one. Look at them both.
Now, wait a minute. I just fired one shell into that bale of hay.
And once into the gambler's hired gun. You see, after you left this morning, my deputy and me, we went out and we got kind of busy. I no longer allege that that is your rifle. The new science, ballistics, can prove it. Not only with your rifle, with my 45. And just as I wanted you to say if that rifle was yours, I wanted that gambler over there to claim back his 6-gun from you. Because now I'll bet my job it was his gun that fired the one and only bullet that killed your friend, Mr. Elliot. I don't want the gambler for scaring a man that owed him money. I want him for murder. Have an apple, Mr. Kane.
Just call me Lucas, huh?
What now? Come in.
Hello, Marshal.
Molly? Griff?
Hurry, Marshal, sit down.
Well, I sure am in the wrong business.
Something I can do for you?
I don't like to say it, but I have to ask you to read this, Mr. Griff. It's kind of a summons.
What for?
Well, this morning when that Mr. McCain brought you in, I didn't hold you.
Oh, you admitted yourself that was all just a misunderstanding.
I like our businessmen to have all the benefits if I don't see a thing like that. But that Mr. McCain,
What about him?
well, he had me look it up in the book. He claims he made what's called a citizen's arrest.
Never heard of it.
Well, it turns out it's in the book, all right. Like the bounty hunters who are allowed to arrest other citizens. So meanwhile, looks like I have to ask you for your gun. Oh, Mr. McCain showed me that part in the book, too.
He's quite a reader, isn't he?
Oh, especially the to wits and whereas's parts. If you don't mind, Mr. Griff.
Does this mean that, I'm under arrest, Marshal?
Oh, that's for Judge Hopkins to say when he gets here. Mr. McCain said...
Mr. McCain. Now, who is this man McCain, Marshal? A special officer from the Cattlemen's Association?
Well, he didn't mention, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had some influence back there. I'm right sorry about this, Mr. Griff. But with you being the leading businessman and all. Smiley? Oh.
Ben,
You get it?
we're in good shape.
Hate to tell you what kind of shape the feed and grain store man thinks we're in.
How so?
Buying 4 bales of hay for our 2 horses the same day. He looked at me like I took to nibbling on the stuff myself.
Here's the bullet from Elliot's body. This one should match. Step outside.
All right, Ben.
Well? What's wrong?
Ballistics is what's wrong. They don't match.
All the others did.
These don't.
Marshal, is there any chance maybe some other bullets got in that hay?
Who else goes firing bullets in hay but me?
Well, sometimes we all get a little ahead of ourselves. Your ballistics was a good try. I'm sorry it didn't pay off.
I sure don't understand what went wrong.
Good night, Marshal.
You about ready to let me throw all that silly laboratory equipment out now?
No, Ben?
Well, what earthly good is it if it don't find a man guilty?
The same good when it finds a man innocent.
Oh.
Marshal.
Any more killings tonight, Mr. McCain? It's after hours.
You know, we might just be back in the ballistics business after all.
Could you hold it a little closer?
Now, listen. This morning out of Box Canyon with Griff and that hired gun, I took both their .45s. Supposing when you made me give that gambler back what I thought was his gun, I had them mixed up. What I'm saying is I gave Griff the hired gun's .45 by mistake. This is Griff's gun.
Ben! Ben! You hop into the feed and grain store. Tell the man...
I'll quit first.
2 more bales, Ben.
How am I going to explain 6 bales of hay in one day?
Tell him my horse eats like a horse.
Oh!
On the right, the bullet that killed Elliot. On the left, The bullet we just fired now.
Well, they're identical, all right.
About does it, I say. We gather them in now, Marshal?
Not quite.
Why not?
On account of Judge Hopkins, Mr. McCain. The judge is a mighty stubborn man sometimes. He'll like it better if I find the gun in Mr. Griff's possession after the new killing tonight.
No killing. Who's gonna be killed?
You, I think.
When?
Griff?
What now, Marshal? McCain reading that book again?
Sometimes people go too far. This is Las Cruces, not North Fork, where he belongs. I decided he said enough. I dismissed the summons, and I'm returning your gun.
Well, what did he say, Marshal?
Oh, just some foolish talk about you and the Elliott killing.
Me?
He don't know any more about that killing than anybody else. He just thinks he got wind of something to tell a judge. Oh, I'm sorry about all this fuss, Mr. Griff.
All right.
Good night.
All right.
Why, Miss Molly.
Hello,
You're just as
Marshal.
pretty as ever.
Why, thank you. What did he want this time?
Molly, you live at the hotel. What's McCain's room?
Number 4.
That gun, Griff. Deputy, take the bullets out of Mr. McCain's body.
You call this tomfoolery what?
Ballistics, Judge Hopkins, ballistics. It's a wonderful new exact science, Your Honor.
You expect me to trade a defendant's freedom on such as this? That this bullet, Exhibit A, which killed Mr. Elliott, and this bullet, Exhibit B, which was fired into a scarecrow, both positively were fired from that one insane gun?
Judge Hopkins, Your Honor, you see, ballistics is how we call this.
Fiddlesticks is how I call it. Nothing will ever replace the reliable human witness who can swear precisely and exactly as to what he has seen or heard. Mr. McCain, I am deeply sorry that we were all too late to save your friend Elliott. Perhaps in other districts, my other marshals could have.
How so, your other marshals, Judge Hopkins?
Because they were not squandering their time playing in haystacks. Good day, gentlemen.
Something tells me ballistics is going to catch on a lot slower than I thought. Meanwhile, I got another thing to look into, but of course the judge will never believe it.
What's that?
Well, it's called fingerprints.
Fingerprints.
Well, they do it with snowflakes. Shut up.